you have guts for what it takes? Do you have guts for what this life will require of us? And I have been watching this Moses series on Netflix, and it just kind of remind me of basically what the Israelites went through to be freed from slavery. And I know most of you possibly going through Sunday school, or you must have heard about the Moses story and the Egyptians and the 10 plagues and all of that and what really happened. And it have me thinking about even me, that sometimes when God gives us a task, we feel like we are not equipped, we are not adequate enough. Who are we? And those were some of the questions Moses was asking God when they met on Mount Sinai, in the burning bush. Like, Moses was a murderer because he saw one of the Egyptian killing one of the Hebrew. It stirred something up in him and he killed somebody, and then he had to flee from Egypt. So he was wandering in the desert in Midian for 40 years. But then he came upon God because purpose must be fulfilled. During those 40 years in the wilderness would have been his humbling season, because he grew up as a prince in Egypt. So for 40 years he was in Midian and being humbled as a shepherd by God. And so God encountered him on the mountaintop and told him that he needs to go back to Egypt, the place where he murdered somebody. He needs to go back to Egypt to tell Pharaoh to let his people go. And Moses said, if you go back to Egypt and me kill somebody and me can't talk, and we find every excuse. We're not inadequate, we're not competent, we're not equipped, find somebody else. Those were some of the things, and God provided help. God provided Aaron to assist his brother Aaron, to assist him on this task. And he obeyed and went. And I know a lot of us, sometimes when we see things so huge, things that, no, sir, this is too big for me, we kind of disobey. And I believe these are some of the instances when we stand in the way of progressing the human race. Anyway, so Moses went, and God told Moses that he would put something in Pharaoh to resist. So he is giving an task to do, and just basically telling him from the get-go that it will go hard, because me ever make Pharaoh resist. The same man who you're supposed to go to tell to let my people go, I am gonna put something in him to resist you. What a task. Anyways, he obeyed and he went. And this brings me to even reflect on us, because there are times when we may be going through circumstances, it's just hard, we just can't see the way. It's just like you feel like you're spiraling down, and it's just a get from bad to worse, and everything possibly that can happen bad is happening, and it just seems like there is no end. And I believe these are some of the instances when God sends us on a mission and put resistance in our enemies, because at the end of the day, he needs to prove that he is God, and it is only him you can rely on for strength. It is not humanly possible to do this by yourself. And so when you're faced with those external pressure, the external force, what we need to do is ensure that the internal pressure that we are pushing back against the world is equal to or more than that pressure that is coming to us. And we know Newton's law that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. And so you will realize too, when you're trying to do good and you're trying to walk on the straight and narrow, and you keep your focus right, your headspace in the right place, you have so many things coming at you as distraction, because the pressure you're pushing from inside, it needs to be matched. It's just nature, it's just law. It needs to be matched with something external. The challenge is that, will you ensure that your internal pressure, that strength from God to push against the world, is it higher or stronger than the pressures of the outside? And so we see where Moses, he went to Pharaoh several times. Pharaoh resisted, and he keep going back, and he keep going back, and he keep going back. And similar for us, each time you go and push, you're gonna have resistance, and you go and push again and you have resistance. 9 plagues, still resistance. It was the 10th plague that Pharaoh finally submitted. Friends, do you have guts for what this world takes and require of us? You have to ensure that mentally you're strong, physically you're strong. Make sure God is on your side, because you and God is majority. I mean, I say is because you and God are one. You and God are majority this morning, friends. So don't look at the circumstances that you're in. You may be in a storm for months, for years, days, weeks. You're just in something and you absolutely see no way out. Just be rest assured that God is working something in you. It could be that He's working on your patience. It could be working on your humility. You're just too proud and arrogant, and He needs to humble you so He can allow you to bask in His glory. And He needs to prove Himself to some of us, because you have a job and you can pay your bills and you can pay your car, this, and you can buy food. You think that is all to life. Sometimes God have to strip us down to show us at the end of the day that He is Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides for you. It's not your job really is providing. It is just a channel of income, but God owns everything. He is the source of everything. And so sometimes when we take our eyes off of the physical, then we will see that it is God at the end of the day behind everything. And so, friends, just ensure that the pressure that you have inside pushing against the world is equal or more than the pressures of life. And you can only do that by having God working on your inside, because you can't withstand some of these principalities and some of these powers and the rulers of the darkness of this world and spiritual wickedness in high places. But we know a God who is victorious already. And so to fight from a stance of victory, you have to ensure that you have God on your side. Be encouraged this morning, and remember, ensure you have guts for what this world will require of you.